Thank you, Brian and Aaron, and hello, everyone. Plus, happy Passover to all our Jewish viewers, and go Islanders. Breaking news, Full Screen is all systems go to launch a programming service tomorrow on Google Chromecast. The service will be advertiser-free, mix movies with original programming, and appear in part on Audience Network. That's the channel carried on both DirecTV and AT&T's Uverse cable systems. Subscribers will pay $4.99 a month for this service, and the original series on display off the bat includes Electra Woman and Dinah Girl, the Sid and Marty Krofft 1970s ABC revival featured at the Tribeca Film Festival last week. It's a matchup of YouTube stars. Grace Helbig as Electra Woman, Hannah Hart as Dinah Girl. Other new series are, and believe it, Kingdom Geek and other shows too. Now, adapt a novel by John le Carre for film or television, and chances are you have a hit on your hands. Think Richard Burton's chilling portrait of the spy who came in from the cold on film in the mid-1960s, or Alec Guinness as meticulous George Smiley in the classic TV miniseries Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and Smiley's People 2 decades later. Now this fiction master is back on the tube with The Night Manager, a 6-part miniseries that premiered last Tuesday on AMC to sensational reviews. Tom Hiddleston plays Jonathan Pine, a former soldier invited to fall into grace with international business magnate, who may be up to an unholy weapons trade. Former House star Hugh Laurie is the magnate, and no gruff doctor with a caring soul is he.
Did you ever meet Richard Roper?
Roper's a world-class MSDR.
He's the worst man in the world.
I want to put you inside this operation.
Welcome to the family.
Who are you?
Someone's been prying into my affairs. Anyone can betray anyone.
Part 2 of The Night Manager runs tomorrow at 10 on AMC. You can figure Hiddleston and Laurie will be Emmy contenders for Best Miniseries Actor this summer. Oscar-winning director and executive producer Suzanne Bier is another likely Emmy candidate for her work here, and I will have her live from Europe later this afternoon on Tomorrow Be Televised, 3 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Incidentally, the program has been sold to networks in 180 countries, including China. As for next Monday night, Fox raises this question. What if two 20th century notables, magician and escape artist Harry Houdini and Sherlock Holmes author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, teamed up with Scotland Yard to solve mysteries involving the supernatural or psychic phenomena? What if they, to quote the name of a popular TV series of decades ago, took that one step beyond? Have a look.
Every religion for centuries has told us that death isn't the end. Nothing is as it was just 10 years ago. Maybe not even death.
What a complete and utter load of crap. I can handle this case myself without help from a writer and a magician.
Are you police officers? We're working with the police, yeah.
I'm glad the great Sherlock Holmes is dead.
You're the great Houdini. You can escape everything.
God expects a miracle if you don't have faith.
Fear erodes strength. It diminishes us, makes us vulnerable.
Fear is a good thing. It's only when you admit that you're afraid the fear loses its power over you.
Houdini and Doyle, coming in 2016 to ITV Encore.
Their journey into the world of the unknown begins next Monday night at 9 on Fox. House creator David Shore has a hand in this series, which unfolds to the start of summer. And before we turn things back to Aaron and Brian, let's congratulate Jessica Jones, the Brooklyn-produced superheroine drama on Netflix, for picking up a 2016 Peabody Award Friday morning. Netflix has 3 Peabody honors this year. Jones, Master of None, also produced here in NYC, and its first original movie, Beasts of No Nation. The awards will be handed May 21st at Cipriani Wall Street with a 90-minute highlight special the following month on Pivot. And more big New York news. 2 series are going to be producing here in New York this fall, Homeland on Showtime and Quantico with that wonderful Bollywood star, which was shooting in Canada for ABC.
So Quantico is going to be shooting here?
Quantico.
I absolutely love Quantico.
That increases my Priyanka Chopra sighting ratio by about 1,000,000%.
Who knows? She may come to Brooklyn. Let's hope so. By the way, two big feathers in the cap for Julie Menon, the new commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, who we talked about last week.
She got Priyanka here?
Well, there's
hopefully.
also some people,
Free baskets
like
coming,
Ingenue Ellis, that I believe is maybe lives in New York or from New York.
From the Brooklyn Negroes. And unfortunately, that did not get the Peabody. It was a Peabody finalist this year, but did not get the big prize.
All right, fair enough. So, any surprises with Game of Thrones? I mean, surprises abound. But
before we go into Game of Thrones, and you
Yeah.
have to say spoiler before you say
Absolutely.
it.
Spoiler.
What season is Homeland in? That show's
Homeland, I
been
believe, is in
around
six.
forever.
Sixth season.
And they're finally coming to New York.
Finally coming to New York. The plot line is going to be New York based.
That's
I
going to be
wonder how
awesome.
some
And I love Claire Danes. She is a brilliant actress. She's won Emmy Award, of course, Homeland won the Peabody several years ago.
Yeah.
And I also remember her from a wonderful HBO movie called Temple Grandin, which was an extraordinary portrait that she did.
Well,
Yes,
I will say
the animal
my
rights
father's
activist who had a health issue,
Yeah.
and it was an extraordinary portrayal. I mean, here's a film, by the way, that you would think HBO doing a movie about somebody who is involved with the cattle industry, who has this issue with autistic situation,
Yeah.
and she becomes the leader. Who would watch that? And it turned out it was a big, big success.
Fair enough.
Before Game of Thrones, then something else people would like. What's on HBO? What is this, Lemonade? What is this about?
Oh,
we have no
Beyonce. Some
idea.
singer named
what's
Beyonce.
hap- Like no one knew anything about it. It
and
was
I
just
love-
on the
I love
schedule,
how it
right?
led into the Game of Thrones season 6 premiere too. That was absolutely amazing.
And the press did not know about Lemonade until a day or two before.
Yeah.
Thanks to an HBO press release. We would not, and an HBO night usually press release, we would not have known, oh, Beyonce on Saturday night is going to do this big tribute to her new album, Lemonade. Amazing video.
How is an artist of that caliber able to keep something like that under wraps for so long?
Very good public relations and very good sources that keep things a secret.
And
That's
she
like the bottom line.
pays her people and makes them sign non-disclosure agreements.
Yes.
Every
But
last
mostly she
person.
pays her people.
Yeah. Okay.
But with Game of Thrones, I would not be
Yes.
surprised if this season premiere is the biggest ever because the three network share, ABC, CBS, NBC, of viewing last night was 19. That's 19 combined. And ABC had a 4 share. That's a 4
wow.
share of the audience. So don't be surprised if the season 6 premiere last night
all
sets a
thanks
viewing
to
record.
them.
Don't forget, this comes off last year, Game of Thrones being the first fantasy drama to ever win an Emmy Award for Best Series. And win Best Writing, Best Directing, Acting. You know, normally, as we said before, a series like Game of Thrones will win the technical Emmys, but will not win the big prizes. Last year they did, so this is the first season now. And incidentally, there is talk that there will be at least one more, maybe 2 more seasons of Game of Thrones to come. The executive producers were talking to Variety and The Hollywood Reporter last week, and they suggested maybe after this season, 10, 15 more episodes. So it could be season and a half, 2 seasons. And don't forget, we still have to hear if George Martin, R.R. Martin, is going to write a new book.
Yeah. So
Well, there's
now
also
they're making
a lot of speculation about who and what the storyline of a spin-off would be as well. So,
And you could see so many ways
just
a
like
spin-off could happen,
there's so
too.
many spin-offs, there's so many characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of
a prequel
stuff
spin-off.
in there. But we couldn't let you leave without talking about The Good Wife.
Oh, is it really 2 episodes
There's only
left?
2 episodes to go.
2 episodes left.
But don't forget, Michelle and Robert King are going to be back this summer with a new series called Brain Dead, which I believe will be produced here in New York. Incidentally, Michelle and Robert and The Good Wife cast and crew were at the Tribeca Film Festival this past week. And sorry to say, I can't tell you how that panel went because unfortunately, many of the journalists who covered television were not able to go because for some reason the Tribeca Film Festival publicists, I believe it's Rubenstein Associates, were not giving out press passes to a lot of journalists. And that I think was a shame given the fact that Tribeca for the first time did A, major TV track, B, a major digital programming track, digital programming being shows that are on YouTube, full screen, you know, Crackle, etc., which are now carried on television. And it's really a shame that, you know, here you are with these 2 tracks that Tribeca did, which, by the way, were, from what I understand, wonderfully done, and you don't invite journalists to cover it.
Get it together, Mr. De Niro. First you got the vaccine doc, and now you're locking TV people out of the TV panel? Come on.
I have to ask, do we know what's on the horizon for Juliana Margulies?
No.
Vacation.
Not yet.
Well deserved.
But if vacation is well deserved, and she's a wonderful actress. Who knew when she first came on ER? Believe it or not, it has to be like now 25 years since she started on ER.
Curly-haired
with somebody
girl.
named Clooney, and believe it or not, you know she's turned into a fantastic actress and one of her crowning glories.
Still
Good
working.
wife.
Absolutely.
Okay, Prince has been all over the news, and Saturday Night Live did a very special thing.
Beautifully done on very short notice, 2 days' notice, and what they did put together all these clips of Prince videos
Since
with Jimmy Fallon
1981.
introducing on the fly. Yep.
Since 1981, when he first made his appearance on SNL for the first time, up until the very last time, and that before-seen stuff.
I mean, just so many tributes though this past weekend were just so amazing.
Yeah.
Purple Rain is being featured in I think maybe 87 different movie theaters.
And my brother saw the Bruce Springsteen concert on Saturday night where he did Purple Rain at the Barclays Center. Amazing, amazing performance. And you had networks from Oprah Winfrey Network to MTV to VH1 to Dateline NBC, which did something. 2020 did their Friday night show on the Prince situation.
And Broadway as
and all
well.
the coverage, and Broadway
Hamilton
too.
and Color Purple also did tributes
Jennifer
as
Hudson
well.
and Color Purple with
Jennifer
the impromptu performance.
That was amazing. Oh, her voice. So.
Ryan the Curtain Call, and also AXX TV carried 2 specials that featured Prince. Oprah Winfrey Network did the interview that Oprah did on her program with Prince back in the 90s. So it was like this incredible range of stuff. And one of the most interesting of the Prince tributes was actually off the air on Thursday night when MTV had their fall season preview. So within a few hours after the announcement that Prince had passed on, at their event over at Moynihan Station across from Madison Square Garden, MTV gave out purple wristbands to everybody coming. They could wear if they wanted to. The DJ played Purple Rain songs. Doug Herzog, one of the key Viacom executives who had known Prince. And also they had one of MTV News' music correspondents who was based in Minneapolis and saw Prince be very emotional. And she said, I think, the line of the whole time, which was, Prince was not just a musical icon. He was our icon. He was our North Star. And it was wonderful to see MTV on short notice do all of that. Incidentally, keep your eye on MTV because from what they announced, the sense that you got is, from this event, MTV may be on the verge of trying to get its mojo back. They are coming back to musical rich. Yes, they're going back to a lot more music. The Video Music Awards will be at Madison Square Garden this year, first time in about a decade that they've been in New York, in Manhattan proper. Of course, a couple years ago we had Katy Perry on the Brooklyn Bridge and the event at the Barclays Center. But MTV is going to have a live music performance series called Wonderland. They're bringing back MTV Unplugged. Mark Burnett's doing a hip hop competition. And while it's too early to say if this all works, the sense you do get though is they're trying to recapture the irreverency, the brashness, the tone, really, of what made MTV so popular and so much a phenomenon of television, of media back in the 1980s.
So when we're looking at Beyonce doing something like the Lemonade on Saturday night in a space like HBO, which would have by rights a few years ago been like an MTV property, does that sort of let us know where the landscape is now? If you have a major artist like that going straight to what traditionally was live concert HBO, but I'm going to premiere stuff on MTV. Are they ready to wade into that?
I think so. You know, and in a way with television, we're seeing this with scripted TV, where you're seeing all these independent filmmakers, independent artists, novelists, and playwrights not only get the chance to produce for television, or should we write for television, but produce it as well. And by the way, another one of the Peabody Awards is Mr. Robot, which is produced here in New York. The great classic example of someone who never done television, Sam Esmail, a wonderfully charismatic new actor named Robbie Malek. They get together, great cast, do it in New York, get the South by Southwest gig, wins the Audience Award. USA renews the show for a second season. It starts, by the way, in July.
2 episodes in, they renewed it.
No, not before the show premiered. Before the show premiered. It showed at Tribeca last year. It's been at other film and media festivals. It wins the Golden Globe, now wins the Peabodys, probably will be a shoe-in for Emmy nominations all over the place. And it's the case of, again, an independent artist who gets the shot to do television. And now Esmail faces the second season where he's not only doing Mr. Robot, but he also has the deal with Universal Cable Productions, which produces the series to do other shows too. And we're seeing more and more. I just saw the clips from Queen of the South, which is USA's next original drama series that will premiere in June. And once again, you get this special focus, special look, special side of things. It has its own. It's like we're seeing more of these scripted shows that have their own voice. American Crime on ABC, its own voice. Underground. Its own voice and so on.
Just stop, because I was about to say Underground before we left. Okay, you need to get back on the bandwagon. I cried. Yeah. I totally sat there on Wednesday, watched Underground, and cried. And I can be honestly say it's been a long time since a television show has moved me to that. Yeah. So please, if you haven't caught Underground,
do yourself a favor.
Yes.
It's an extraordinary show, and I promise you that it will be a finalist next year for the Peabodys, and it will certainly get Emmy nominations.
Any surprises for the Peabodys? Because the ones that I thought were Black Horse candidates didn't make it even to the big round, but were you surprised by any who actually
Yes,
won?
I was. Blackish, I thought, was a nice surprise. Kenya Barris's show on ABC, I thought was a very nice surprise. It was also nice that Fresh Off the Boat, by the way, was a finalist too. I think also another show that was also, let me just think here. But I mentioned Mr. Robot was expected. I think the big surprise to me was Jessica Jones. Because you don't see a superhero drama or superheroine drama in this case get an award like the Peabodys. But I think the two big things, I saw the citation, one was Kristen Ritter's performance is marvelous, and secondly, there's a lot of themes that are woven in by the storyline, by the writers, by the producers that made it all work.
That's on Netflix.
And it's on Netflix.
Okay,
and for Netflix to get 3, by the way, off, that Master of None, and of course Beast of Nations. And by the way, kudos to Beast of Nations for winning that Peabody.
Finally, someone recognized him for something, and we're fresh out of time.
It's a lot of good TV to watch, so catch up.
And go Islanders.
Don't forget that. Go Islanders.